Raider Nation, what is good? Hope you guys are having a good week. I appreciate you checking in. We're going into week 8. We head to Detroit, play the Lions Monday night, coming off of an embarrassing loss to the Chicago Bears. And, our offense has been pretty pathetic. And so I want to kind of hit you with a question real quick and let me know in the comments what you think of my opinion. And question is pretty bluntly, is Josh McDaniels a fraud? That's the big question. I think it's the overall consensus of Raider Nation and a lot of people is that Josh McDaniels isn't a very good head coach. You look at what he's done last year, you look at his stint with the Broncos. Um, I think it's pretty obvious that he is struggling as a head coach. Now, don't get me wrong. I hope he can prove me wrong, turn this season around, and we can win out. Don't get me wrong, but I think the writing's on the wall. So that's my question. Is Josh McDaniels a fraud? Is he actually a good offensive coordinator? I think we know that there's a good chance he's a horrible head coach because that's what he's showing. But our offense just isn't clicking. We have no momentum. There's no life to our offense. And I want to go over a couple stats where we currently sit week 8 going into Detroit Monday night against the Lions. And currently our offense is 30th in scoring. We're averaging 16 points per game, 25th in yards per play at 4.7, 25th on third down conversions. We're only converting 35% of the time. And just to kind of give you a gauge, the top 10 teams are converting close to 50% of the time. We're 25th in red zone offense. We're only at 41.7% scoring in the red zone offense. And again, top 10 teams are closer to 60%. And now, if you guys remember, Josh McDaniels was touted as one of the best red zone offensive guys in the league. Now, I did a little research on that, and I'll hit you with that in just a little bit. And we're 22nd in time of possession, which completely relates to the run game, right? The only way that you can capture that time and prolong those drives is if you convert on third down, which we're not very good at, and two, if you can run the ball successfully, right? You run the ball possibly on first and 10 and you bang out 6-7 yards. Or you're 3rd and 2 and you actually can carry yourself over that first down by rushing the football. That extends the drive. It continues to allow the clock to run. So you can extend those drives, you can extend the time, and you really start to dominate the time of possession, which we have been horrible at, given the fact that we're 22nd in the league. And we're only 22nd because the last 2 games we actually did pretty good. Prior to that, we were basically 31st and 30th in time possession going into, I believe it was week 6. So now look, when Josh McDaniels was touted as one of the best red zone guys, that really correlates to his Tom Brady days. When he had Mac Jones, and then you look at it last year, and when he had Cam Newton in New England, he was actually pretty bad. If you look at the stats, he was actually pretty bad with his stint with the Patriots without Tom Brady, and then he is really bad with us. And I took a look at our stats last year compared to this year, and everything has regressed. Our offense has gotten worse from last year to this year, from basically across the board in almost all stats. And, this is why, to me, and I'm going to kind of get into my kind of the next segment of this video is, why do I think he's a fraud? And that's my question. Well, I kind of look at it as the Peyton Manning situation, right? A lot of people knew when Peyton Manning was with the Indianapolis Colts, and even when he was with the Broncos, his offensive coordinators would mainly give him a run play. And then based on what he saw with the defense, he would change the play to whatever he thought was going to be the most successful. So those offensive coordinators really didn't have to do much. They basically just had to give him a base run play, and then he would audible to what he saw. And This is why a lot of Peyton Manning's offensive coordinators, Tom Moore was one of his longtime offensive coordinators with the Indianapolis Colts, and then when he won one of his Super Bowls, and then he had Adam Gase, which was his offensive coordinator with the Broncos. Well, none of those guys did anything. Adam Gase tried to run a career as a head coach in Miami. He had a pretty good first season, but then after that, just absolutely killed that Miami organization, and they fired him. And so, and Tom Moore really never had a chance anywhere else in the league. I believe he became some assistant head coach or got some assistant head coaching positions and stuff like that. But, you know, Peyton Manning ran that offense. And I think that's what is happening, or what the story might be with Josh McDaniels. I think Tom Brady ran that offense. Josh McDaniels wasn't the one that was orchestrating that offense. It was Tom Brady. I mean, look at Tom Brady leaves and goes to Tampa, and he wins himself a Super Bowl. Look at what's happening with New England right now. New England, with Bill Belichick, they're struggling. They're struggling to try to find their way again because Tom Brady is gone. And now look at what McDaniels is doing without Tom Brady. And the thing about a lot of people will say is, oh, but Josh McDaniels took Mac Jones to a Pro Bowl. Mac Jones only made the Pro Bowl because other quarterbacks opted out. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, they opted out that year. So Mac Jones actually got the bid to the Pro Bowl. He didn't get voted in. He didn't get the votes in. He basically had to sub in as an alternative. And then if you look at his numbers that year, I believe he only had 22 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. And I think he threw for about 3,800 yards. Um, you know, that's almost as good as what Jimmy G might do this year. So by no means did Mac Jones have a Pro Bowl season under Josh McDaniels. Mac Jones was an alternate to the Pro Bowl. So, that argument I think just needs to be thrown out. So, you look at what Peyton Manning did for his offense. And again, I think Peyton Manning was orchestrated every offense that he was a part of. And I think that's the same situation with Tom Brady, because if you look at Josh McDaniels and the way that he's been able to coach the offense with the Raiders as well. One, you can look back at the Broncos, but let's look at just what he's done with the Raiders, with our team, is he doesn't know how to adjust. He's got plays in his head. Our offense is extremely predictable. I mean, there's nothing special about our offense. There's nothing creative. It's very basic. And defenses basically shut us down after we have a fairly successful first drive. There's been a couple games where our first drive, we drive down the field pretty much with ease. And then we just flatline the rest of the game. And to me, that's all about adjustments. Josh McDaniels doesn't know how to adjust. And that just kind of goes more to my point that I think it was more Tom Brady that made that offense go, that made that offense gel and be successful, than what it was with Josh McDaniels. And so, and what's really even worse is that this second year, this year right now, Josh McDaniels has his guys. He's got Jimmy Garoppolo. He's got his quarterback. We brought in Devontae Adams. We got Jacoby Myers. We re-signed and franchise tagged Josh Jacobs. He got his second round tight end out of Michael Mayer. We got Trey Tucker in the third round out of Texas Tech. We didn't do anything with the O-line, even though we knew Jimmy G was made out of glass and he was going to get hurt. We didn't upgrade our offensive line. We did draft our fourth round rookie, Aiden O'Connell, out of Purdue. So this is Josh McDaniels' offense. This is his personnel. We've dumped a ton of money into this offense for it to be successful. And for us to think that we're going to rely on the shoulders of the defense when we have poured everything into the offense, that's just it's just a dumb way to approach it, to be blunt. So, I think that when it comes to Josh McDaniels, unfortunately, I don't think he's the offensive coordinator that everybody thinks that he was. I think it was more respect to Tom Brady and how great he really is. To be honest with you, I hate saying it as a Raider fan, but you got to give respect where respect is due. And Tom Brady, I think it shows how great he really was, and how much it was not Josh McDaniels doing. So that's my opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I'm open to listening to anybody because, again, it's just my opinion. Um, One other thing I wanted to touch on is I also think that Josh McDaniels has really lost all confidence in our offense. I'm going to talk real brief about this, but there's certain situations in a season that could really turn things around, right? Last year we lost 5 double-digit leads. Um, we were up by 17 points, and we lost those leads, which is I believe it was 5 times, which is an NFL record, which you don't want to be on that end of an NFL record. And so we gave up a bunch of double-digit leads last year. Our offense just froze up. And now Josh McDaniels has his guys, and he's got some making up to do. Josh McDaniels has to make up for what he showed last year or lack thereof. And there's moments in a season that can turn things around where you can start to gain confidence, not only in your players, you can kind of gain confidence in yourself, but gain confidence in the fan base. And there's a couple situations, right? Back week 2 against this, or I think it was actually week 3 against the Steelers, where um, there's a huge controversy whether or not we should have kicked the field goal or went for it on fourth, and basically it was 4th and 4, but we were on the 8-yard line. So it was actually 4th and 4. We could have gotten a first down. And Josh McDaniels decided to kick a field goal. Um, we needed a touchdown and 2-point conversion to tie that game up. And we kicked the field goal. We couldn't stop the defense, and the Steelers win that ball game. That was a defining moment. That was an opportunity for Josh McDaniels to prove to the nation, prove to the team, prove to the players, this is why I brought you guys together. This is why I was hired on. This is why I spent all this money and all this capital on the offense, because we can take advantage of these opportunities. And he kicks the field goal. When we played Green Bay, Josh McDaniels, was a 4th and 2, and Josh McDaniels has had an opportunity to seal that game. 4th and 2, we have the former rushing champion out of Josh Jacobs, and he kicks the field goal, and Carlson misses the field goal. Now it's up to the defense to stop their offense. Now, the defense got the stop. We got a great interception by Amik Roberts. Great play, right? And we win the game, which is awesome. But in that moment, Josh McDaniels could have called a 4th and 2 play, get that first down, seal the game, and prove to the players, prove to the nation, the fan base, everybody, that I got this. This is why you brought me in, and this is why I made my moves in the offseason. But he failed to do so. Another situation was against the Bears, right? Just this past week, the Bears started the 4th quarter. We had a situation down by 19, and it was 4th and goal from the 6. Now, we just previously went for it on 4th down. It was 4th and 4 from on the 10-yard line, and we actually got it, which was good. And then we stall out, and he decides on 4th and goal from the 6 to kick the field goal down by 19. Again, another opportunity. You went flat the entire game. The entire game, you could barely move the football. We got into the red zone basically once. We got in the red zone in garbage time, but we basically got in the red zone one time. And that's another opportunity for you to try to gain some momentum with our team, with this offensive, with this offensive squad. Prove to the nation that, look, this is why you brought me in. But he continues to fail to take opportunities to get this ball rolling with the offense. And I think at a certain point, I coached a lot of football. I played a lot of football. And sometimes as a coach, don't get me wrong, that play clock winds down pretty quick. You got to understand what your personnel is. You got to understand what the sticks look like, right? What down is it? How many yards do I got to how many yards do I got to go? What type of defense do they like to run in this type of situation? There's a lot to think about, but you're getting paid the millions, so you better act like it. But So I understand there's a lot going on, but there needs to be a time, there needs to be a point that you prove to the locker room, the players, and even the defense that you know what the hell you're doing, that you are this offensive guru, this offensive genius that everybody has touted you to be. You finally need to show it. And in basically a season and a half, we haven't seen it. Where is it? Our offense sits 30th in scoring, averaging 16 points a game. That's pathetic with the amount of weapons that we have. So, guys, I just wanted to rant a little bit. I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys, sticking through with this video. But let me know in the comments below your opinion, whether you think Josh McDaniels is actually a good offensive coordinator. If we actually have a chance at seeing our offense start to pick things up and maybe, be the better part of this team and not have to have our defense, carry us like we've had basically the first part of this season. So let me know. Let me know in the comments below. Again, I appreciate you guys checking in. If you guys could, please like the video, subscribe, hit that notification button, because I'll be hitting you guys with my game review of our upcoming matchup Monday night, Detroit Lions. It's going to be a good one, and you know we haven't been looking too hot this season so far. But if we can get some confidence and a streak going, and really get some motivation back in this locker room and this fan base, we're going to need to pull this one off. But look out for that video. I'm going to drop it here soon. But again, I appreciate you guys checking in. Until the next video, I'm out.